Soul, Burn, Scum, Butthead, Reek, President. Are you presidential material or just a a-hole? Or both? Find out right here. We're gonna learn how to play, aka Bum. Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to Playing Games. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Take a drink for each one you forgot to do. Bum is an incredibly popular drinking card game that plays best at large gatherings, like cramming 10 people into a freshman dorm room. If you don't want to call this game by its official name, you can use an alternative such as Bum, Scum, Butthead, or Reek. It's a shedding game, which means rounds are won by getting rid of all of your cards. While the basic rules are mostly universal, Bum has endless variations and house rules. The following rules are my rules. Oh, you play differently? You do you. And you can tell me how in the comments. The goal of Bum is to reign as the president and avoid becoming the bum. The first person out of cards in Bum becomes the next round's president. The last person with cards in their hand becomes the next round's bum. But the side goal of the game is to make everyone else drink. And when I say drink, I don't have any bubbly beverage in mind. Be safe, drink water, stay hydrated. Setup. Use two 52 card decks, and if you have them, add 2 jokers. If you have less than 6 players, you might be able to get away with 1 deck, but I highly recommend you have a second. Players draw cards from a pile, and high card becomes the dealer. In Bum, the highest card is actually the 2, so this player would be the dealer. Don't stress about having decks that don't match. The game itself is so sloppy, having sloppy looking decks, it just tracks. So the dealer will deal to themselves last, and you deal out the whole deck. You can deal it 1 at a time, or you can be kind of sloppy and deal out 4 to 5 cards at a time. Any extra cards go 1 at a time to the players left until they're out, with the very last one going to the person immediately to the left of the dealer, since they get to go first. This style of dealing changes after the first round, in which the Bum and the Vice Bum get the last 2 cards if there are extras. This is likely what you'll see, 2 decks spread out against 6 to 12 players. However, for the sake of demonstration, we're going to eliminate this to just 1 deck between 4 players. All cards will be dealt, there will be no draw pile. Here's the rank from low to high: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. And then the special cards, 2, 3, and Joker. Bum is played closed-handed, but I'll show the cards here to help demonstrate how this game is played. In all but the very first round, cards will be exchanged between the president, vice bum, and bum. More on that in a little bit. But as this is the first round, we all just keep the cards we've been dealt. As mentioned, the cards rank from low to high, 4 through ace. The 2s and 3s are special. A single 3 is a wild card and can represent any combination or rank of cards. 2s are clear cards, which means when played, they immediately end the hand and clear away all of the played cards. If a pair of 3s is played, they act as a clear card as well. The Joker works like a 2, but with a twist. If you play a Joker, you clear the pile, and then you must exchange your whole hand for another player's hand. If you are a ranked player like a president, vice bum, or bum, the Joker then is simply played like a 2. Those players do not exchange whole hands with one another. Gameplay. In the first round, the player to the left of the dealer begins. In subsequent rounds, the bum will start play. To begin play, a player can put down any single, double, triple, or more of a single card value. Typically, the first card or cards to go down will be low cards, such as a single 4. This is known as keeping it low for the homies. So to play, you just put your card in the middle of the table. Now, 1 at a time, all other players must play a card of that same value or a higher value. For example, we started with 1 4. The next player would have to play another 4 or a higher ranked card. If they play their 7, the next player can't play another 4, 5, or 6, only a card with a higher rank. However, if the card is the same exact value as played, like another 7, that works as a skip, skipping the next player who has to take a drink and lose their turn as a penalty. That means play would go to this player. Another thing that can happen is if a player can complete the set of cards, as in playing all the 7s, they can throw it down and they clear the whole pile away, and everybody else must take a drink. This is called a social. Now normally you can't play a double on a single, but if you're completing the set, you can throw in a double or even a triple. So for example, if there was 1 7 down, it wouldn't matter whose turn it was next. If I had or someone else had 3 7s in their hand, they could immediately throw them down and clear it out. And they get to start the next turn, which is great. Let's say instead they just played another 7, skip this player, forcing them to lose their turn and drink. And then this player plays their queen before that player can throw in their 7. So that means the next highest card goes to me. Now I can play a king or an ace. However, I have doubles of those, so I might want to hold on to them. I could also clear the hand with this 2, or play my queen and skip this player, and now they have to drink. They have a queen, and they skip this player, and they have to take a drink. See how this goes? Now I'll play my ace, and then this player will play their ace, skipping this player. This goes on until either no one else can play a higher card, or the pile is cleared, like this. If I play my 2, I clear the pile. A 2 acts as a clear card, and that instantly gives me the following first play. Now you don't have to lead with a single card. You could lead with a pair, or a triple, or all 4. If you're playing with 2 decks, you can lead with even more than that. If I led with 3 5s, that would mean every player after me would have to play 3 of something higher than 5. Let's say this player had 3 10s, they could put those 3 10s on, and then play goes to this next player. If you can't make a play or clear, you can instead use a 3 card, which is wild. So even if you don't have a triple combination, you're still able to play that. If you can't or don't want to play a card, you say pass and take a drink. Once you've passed, you can't play again in this pile, so you must take a drink every time play passes your spot. If you play 2 3s, that works as a clear card, like a 2, and you can clear the pile and start the next round. If a pile is not cleared by a 2, double 3, or a joker, it's the last player who puts down a card who gets to clear the pile and lead off the next one. If you are the first person to play out your hand, congratulations, you're the next round's president. The second player to do so becomes the vice president. All other players go out and remember their order. The last people to go out become the vice bum and the bum. Now it's reward and punishment time. The president gets to sit in the most comfortable seat. The vice president gets the second best seat. The worst seats are given to the vice bum and the bum. All other players line up clockwise in the order they went out. The bum is now responsible for menial work such as picking up the cards, dealing the cards, and getting more snacks for the president. The vice bum shuffles the cards, giving time for the bum to get said snacks. The bum deals cards to themselves first and deals counterclockwise, ensuring that the president gets dealt last. The final 2 cards go to the vice bum and the bum. After players sort their cards, the bum now gives their 2 best cards to the president gives their 2 worst cards to the bum, and the vice bum gives their 1 highest card to the vice president. The vice president gives their 1 worst card to the vice bum. And now the new round begins with the president, the vice president, any neutral players in the middle, the vice bum, and finally the bum. The president and the vice president will have a great advantage, and the vice bum and the bum will be at a tremendous disadvantage. Nonetheless, players will try their hardest to advance in position, while the president and vice president attempt to remain in power. Just like in the other rounds, the first player out is the president, and then the vice president all the way down through the vice bum and the bum. The game goes on until one player has reached a certain amount of consecutive or non-consecutive terms as president, or when enough players have dropped out from being too hydrated. Special rules. Again, this game is so regional that gameplay will almost certainly be unique with any group you join, but here are some special rules that I've used. Social. If you can complete the set of cards of a value played, but you must get them on top before some other player plays over them. If you're playing with 2 decks, each set will contain 8 cards of each value. If you are the player to complete the set, you clear the pile and get to lead the next hand. Everybody else must take a social drink. No last card warning. If a player fails to announce that they're on their last card before playing it, they must draw a penalty card from the discard cards. Double 2s. If you play 2 2s, you not only get to clear, but you get to lead the next play with any 2 cards together. They will count as a double. You must announce which of the cards you want to set the pace. So you could play a 5 and a 7 and say either a double 5 or a double 7. The same goes for a triple 2. You may lead with any 3 cards and declare the value of one of them as a triple. Bum's revolt. If the bum somehow becomes the president in one round, that's known as a revolution, and the new president can make a rule on their very first turn as president. If the president wins a second term, they get what's known as the president's privilege. This grants them with the power to make one absurd rule per following term they remain in power. If someone fails to follow their rule, they will have to drink at the president's discretion. Getting to the top spot of the president is one thing, but getting to make your own rule, that's really what makes this game so fun and really what drives a lot of players to want to be the president. There are probably an infinite amount of presidential privilege rules out there. Let me just give you a few that I've seen come up more than once. The royal sign. There are several ways to do this. One of the most popular is that the president puts their thumb discreetly on the table. The last player to notice and do the same takes a penalty, which is usually drinking or getting snacks. Other variations on this are crossing your fingers, tugging your ear, picking your teeth, and you can do it at any time. Nomenclature notice prefix. This rule usually entails using a certain name or phrase in front of people's names or in place of their names. I've seen Old Dirty, so if you have to say Old Dirty Chris or Old Dirty Jack or Old Dirty Sarah or Old Dirty whoever, and if you fail to do that, you usually have to take a drink. Or sometimes it's a president that requests being called His Highness. Compliment clause. Before playing their turn, a player must compliment the president or face a penalty. The waterfall. Everybody starts drinking and can't stop until the player to their right stops, starting with the president. There are many other rules that I've played over the years, but to be honest, it's all a little bit hazy now. So let's leave it here, and you can help me by sharing your house rules right there in the comments. Please like, comment, and share to make me not feel like a bum. Also keep this channel going with a digital download or by buying official Playing Games stuff. You are great. See you next time on Playing Games.